Good afternoon or good evening, my subscribers on YouTube, my peeps on Facebook, and the people at RetroRareTV.com. This is the time once again for another video game review. And I am reviewing this time Gex for the PlayStation 1. Now, Gex is a platform game originally released for the 3DO back in 1994. Versions of the game were later released for the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and Microsoft Windows. It was a packing game for the Panasonic modes of the 3DO later in the console's life. It was the first game in the Gex series and introduces players to the title character, a ice-cracking gecko named Gex, who is voiced in this game by comedian Daniel Crude, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. The game is also the only side-scrolling game in the series. Now, there's the hoorah on that. Now, long story short of it, Gex has been sucked into the media dimension, the place where cheesy 70s movies go to retire. To escape, he's got to kill TVs in each of the wards. Now, of course, in each ward you have a cemetery, kung fu, jungle, and many others, but we'll be concentrating on the cemetery. Now, this was released for the 3DO, like I said, back in 1994. It was released on the PlayStation around 1995. If you lived in Europe, 96, it also was released on the Sega Saturn in 1996 and released on Microsoft Windows in 96 and 97, respectively. Now, for more of the plot, you will see an opening video of Gex talking, which is where I will shut up. And of course, this is where everything was developed by Gex, yada yada yada. Here we go. Crystal Dramatics!
It all started so simply. I had just finished my usual morning routine of noon poker size, fired up the Barca Lounger, grabbed a quick bite to eat, and prepared to watch some serious TV. Little did I know, my snack was sent by Red.
And that pretty much, boys and girls, is the opening. Yeah. Now this does not have saves. This has those wonderful passwords.
That's what I call getting some tail. I'm invincible.
By the way, yeah, he never shuts up. This is a heads up.
Let's get it on.
Now, for a better long story of Gex, Gex and his family lived in Maui, Hawaii. Gex, shut up for a minute. Thank you. His mother raised him and his three younger siblings while their father worked for NASA. Gex's hobbies include spending time with friends, surfing, playing with the little guitar thingy-bababa, and throwing parties. One day, Gex's mother gets a phone call from NASA explaining that Gex's father and 10 human volunteers died when their rocket exploded on launch pad. According to the manual, the explosion was created by a Band-Aid floating in one of the fuel tanks. I kid you not, that's what the manual says, because I actually had the manual in front of me. And that's why I had to say that. And of course, to prove that it does say it. Soon, the Gecko family's carefree life is shattered when Gex bottles up his emotions, takes refuge in front of the television to get over the tragedy, only to become obsessed. 3 weeks later, he becomes an addict to television. After several unsuccessful attempts to get Gex to stop watching TV and consulting with a minister and friends at work, Gex's mother decides it's time for a change. The Gecko family moves to California. Gex's TV is taken away and he flees from home. After several months of living in the streets, Gex inherits an enormous amount of money and he moves back to Maui to live in a mansion and buy the world's largest television. Sounds like the American dream to me. While watching TV one day, Gex swallows a passing fly, not knowing it's some sort of a transmitter. Moments later, a huge hand shoots out of the yada yada yada. Pretty much you just saw what that happened. Gex must go through the fine war of the cemetery, New Toonland, Jungle, and Kung Fu Island. The first one, which we will be doing, at least one stage, is the cemetery. Now, of course, if you beat all four of the main stages, the big gold thingy bubble will open and you get to fight Reds on the mysterious Planet X. Now, gameplay for this, now that I can unmute you, Gex, in addition to being able to walk, run, and jump through levels, Gex can attach himself to walls and climb along them using these section pads on his feet. This technique is sometimes necessary to progress, but can also be used to bypass enemies and hazards. On the first level, Franken Hell, find a remote. I pause again. Now, of course, the main objective in every level of Gex is to explore and find television remotes hidden throughout the levels. Ain't that awesome, children? Some levels require players to find 2 remotes to access the next world. There are also hidden portals to bonus levels. Now, in the 3D original, players must save progress in the system's internal memory. Now, other versions use a password system instead to receive a password or gain access to the 3DO's internal memory. The player must find a VHS tape hidden in the level. The tapes are usually hidden every other level in each world. Now, back when this came out, which would have been, like I said, to the middle of the 90s, it did receive positive scores back then. Review website Gaming Ranks gave the 3DO version a 79.58, the PC version 71, the Sega Saturn about a 69, and the PlayStation version a 63. The game was awarded Best 3DO Game of 95 by Electronic Gaming Monthly. The PlayStation version of the game received a 9.25 out of 10 from Game Informer. Very high praise. That was then. It's now 2013. We're going to see how that does as well. This should be interesting. But back to the game. As you can see, I have the pause.
Okay, time to call the maids.
X is jump. Square is tongue. Circle is tail. Triangle does nothing. Shoulder buttons do nothing. And you put... That pretty much the question marks tell you what to do. And you see the... I believe collecting 100 of the gold bugs gets you an extra life. By the way, he does get repetitive with his speaking lines, by the way. I forgot, L1's the... L1 is the down button, my bad. Ah! Pretty much all you do is find remotes and beat bad guys up.
This would be great for my collection.
secret. Whee!
Into the garbage, you fly boy.
Yay!
Who opened the can of whooping?
Doo-doo-doo. By the way, spikes kill children.
This would be great for my collection. Wait a bug.
If I just pressed all that and said fuck it. And by the way, I'm dead. And when you die, you get thrown out of the television ward and back to the main hub.
Like the slime boys, nice touch.
Now we go back in. But guess what? About to find one other problem of the game. Because I did not find the checkpoint, I gotta go through all that again.
Who opened the can of whooping?
Food. Give the dog your food.
And this. Geronimo!
And that's the checkpoint. It takes a picture of him. That's where you will be. Whee! Now the controls work pretty good for this, and the game's got great audio. If you guys can hear it. If you cannot, I do apologize. You know, Gex just get a little repetitive with his, talking. Whee! Ow. This is where we died last time, children. Gex plays pretty well, but for being such an old game, it's very surprising that this is one of the few that actually still is playable and fun. And that's it. Once you get the remote, the TV will open and you have beaten the level.
Ha, that is wild.
I don't know why he vomits on the TV. So, at the end of the day, Gex for the PlayStation 1 gets a... Man.
Like the slime boys, nice touch.
I think I had to start the TV again. Oh, that's how you do it. Anyway, Gex gets a 4 out of 5. Very good game. You shouldn't pay too much for it. I think I only paid about 15 bucks. It's not bad. I believe you can get it cheaper on the PlayStation Store. I believe it is available on there. Anyway, this is the DOUG signing off saying I hope you had a good time watching the video, watching me screw up on the first level. It's like down on Super Mario Brothers 3 First World. Anybody who was at the Retro World panel knows what happened there. Anyway, yeah, that's been Gexit, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you later today for my other review and, of course, my continuation of SmackDown for the PlayStation 1. Until then, this is the DOUG signing off saying have a good day, and I will see you next time.